Hashtag Detroit Lions. Anthony, what is the buzz, this is you, for where you're at about the Lions, and who do they think we should get in the first couple of rounds? So he's asking you the buzz in your AO.
I mean, in our pod, God, it's all over the place. They're trading up, they're trading down, they're staying where they are. They got, it's again, we've not really been in this position for a long time. I know we had the Rams draft, the Rams 32 not so long back, but in terms of our own, this is our first pick. It's been so long since we've been in this position. Like my own personal buzz is that Brad Holmes is aggressive and he will go and get his guys. And I especially believe that with how close we are with the defense. I think we're, 2 or 3 guys away from being really good. And again, my belief of how this draft is gonna, you know, shake out is that offense is going to go high and defense is going to get pushed down, and it's going to come. The board is going to come to us and allow us to be able to go. And it's not actually, trading in the 20s doesn't cost like firsts and second round picks like it does at the top of the third. This is fourths, fifths, futures, stuff like that. It's not as expensive. So, like, we're just in our little bubble here in the UK. So I'm not over where all you guys are with all the bits, but it's all over the place here. Like nobody knows for sure. Position wise, nobody knows for sure because Brad's, methodology is best player. It's not positional. So it's very hard to know who he likes, and it's very hard to know who the team likes. So yeah, we can only go on what we personally feel.
How many offensive line do you think the Lions take in this draft? It's gonna be 1 or 2. I'm gonna say they'll get an interior offensive lineman. I'm thinking a tackle at some point because we have Dan Skipper. That's really our backup right now. Matt Nelson signed somewhere else. Yeehaw. So maybe they go and they get another one. Every time I think about Matt Nelson, I think of The Simpsons. That dude
Well,
there.
he's
He's
gone.
he was
Hasn't he gone to the Seahawks or something? We're finally rid of him. So
finally rid of him. Yeah, I never really liked him.
I think
Kind of
3.
weird.
I think they
3?
will
Holy
go.
moly! Okay.
I think 3, and I think you'd see definitely one on day 2, and I think you'd see a couple. I think you'd see one at least early day 3, and then late day 3. Because I do think at some point, I don't think he's going to do it early, but if Brad does want a few more picks, I think he'll go back. When he gets to the second and third round picks, I think he'll go back, get a couple more, flesh out the guys there because, we need, like we said, you've got to think of it realistically. Left tackle's coming up for a contract. So we've got to keep that in the back of our mind. Center is having medical issues. We don't know how long he's got left. Guards, they're old, quite frankly. One's going to be here a year. Glasgow's going to be a couple, but you've got all over this line is long-term worries. So now you can do it. Do it now. Get your succession plans in place. I can see them taking more swings than less because really we've only got Sorstal as a younger one. Everyone else a vet cover and stuff like that, which is fine. But I think you're going to see a lot of guys who they're like try and draft stash on the practice squad, priority UDFA guys. I think you're going to see quite a few in here as they try and do it. But I think at least 2 will make the roster next year.
This draft will be crucial. Brad Holmes doesn't have capital he's had in the past draft. This could be the draft that puts the team over the top. Yeah, but I have he doesn't have the same type of capital he's had the last couple of years, but he's done so good in all the rounds that I'm not worried. Like he finds talent anyways. Like he's got 7 draft picks. He's going to find probably 3 starters in this draft and then some like other crucial players that's going to be situational.
And the crucial thing is our roster's a lot better than it's ever been. Like in those first 2 years, we needed as many picks as we could physically get our hands on because guarantee they're all going to make the roster. This year, you don't want too many draft picks because they're not all going to make the roster. Like there are not that many holes. If there's less players, like as they've said, this is the year that could push us over the top, and we could push us over the top because we don't need that many pieces really to compete. Safety, I think they'll go veteran. They're throwing a very strong mark. I think after the draft, they'll go after a veteran. So you get a corner and an edge here, maybe another linebacker. Then all of a sudden, your defense is looking pretty swell moving into next season, and you just need to flash it out a bit. So we don't need flashy picks. We just need the right picks, and they're right. They'll push us over the edge.
With Brad Holmes' last press conference talking up Pusa as much as he did, do you think that defensive end might not be a big on Brad's list? I don't know.
I
I
don't
I
think it.
I
I
think
think it is a bit overrated because don't forget we've invested in Pascal as well. Like
yeah.
Josh has had his growing pains, but injury has played a lot in that as well. He is the big end opposite Aiden. He can play there. We do have Davenport as a 1 year stop. We've got Houston as well. Like you do want another guy coming into the room this year, but I don't think it's as major a thing as it's because we didn't have Houston all last year. And like he's coming off a serious injury and he is going to contribute to this team. We've seen he can contribute to this team. So there is a need for an edge, but I do agree. I don't think it is. Again, I don't think it does really priority list by position, but it's not as big a deal as some people are making out. As long as we come away with one good guy, I think the room will be just fine to at least get us through another year.
We look. I understand that Brad Holmes likes Marcus Davenport and all that stuff and the talk. I just don't trust it because of his health concerned, and I want the Lions to get an edge so we do have some like multiple pass rushers coming at a quarterback. Does he think it? You may be right. Maybe he doesn't have it as the highest on his list. I don't know. I know for me, I would personally like to get an edge. It's higher on my list. But for him, I don't know. It's impossible to know what he's thinking. He also said last year before the draft that linebacker wasn't too high a priority on his list. He took Jack Campbell at 18, so doesn't necessarily believe everything he's going to say or what anyone's going to say. JPJ fall to 29. Jackson Powers, it's possibly falls to 29. Him and Cooper Beebe, I do like in the draft for the guards. But what's good about Jackson Powers is he played center as well. That's a nice combination to have. It's a guard that can play center can play guard. That's what he would do. So if he's there at 29, I think he's a realistic option for the Lions. No lie. I
He's
think that's a
falling
realistic
victim.
option.
He's falling victim to the draft stuff because when draft season comes around, things have to be exacerbated because everyone's suddenly remembered that he got. I think he was injured in the Shrine Bowl, Senior Bowl, whichever bowl game
Yeah.
he was at. He injured his hamstring, and everyone suddenly remembered that and like, oh my god, he's an injury croc, yada
He's
yada
gonna
yada. It's like
fall. Yeah.
it,
Don't believe any of
it
that bull.
the story of Jackson Powers Johnson is crazy because, like I say, I do the college pod over here, and generally I hear a lot about players coming into a season and coming into last year. I didn't hear a damn thing about him during the season. I didn't hear a damn thing about him. And you know me, Mike, I'm pretty polished up on my prospects, at
Yeah.
least to know about them in the sphere. And then he
Yep.
comes out of nowhere, is made into this super prospect who's like Frank Ragnow reincarnated and could go that high, possibly higher than him in the draft.
Cannot compare him to Frank Ragnow.
And
That's
now
unfair.
and now everybody's attacking him again, and his stocks. It's just such a weird thing with him. Like
They
he was
attack him because they
nowhere.
want him to fall. The teams that are
This
so
is
this
the
is the
thing.
Lion season. Don't believe
Yeah,
anything.
this is the thing. He's a really good football player.
Yeah.
I think he's worthy of a top pick. If I were the Bears, I'd take him at 9 because if you're going to invest in a shiny new quarterback, first thing you need to get him is a center who is one going to control the game and help him, and two protect him. Like I think you could go that high. All this stuff you hear, it's lying. It's
Lion,
lying.
yeah.
It's lying. It's lying. It's the same for players coming up. It's like everybody's talking up Xavier Legetta and scrubs like this who don't deserve to be anywhere near first round conversation, but teams are trying to push the price up and force teams to panic and stuff like that. Watch the tape and you'll see where they're worthy of a place in the draft. So yeah, just this is at the point where there's a lot of Pinocchios around right now, and you've just got to be very careful.
Lies. And what's good is what you don't have to worry about, fans, is Brad Holmes is not buying it either. He's not an idiot. Okay, he's not
Oh
stupid.
no,
He's not going to believe. So he's not going to make a rash decision. Well, I got to trade up to get this guy because of this rumor was said. That's not going to happen. He is too smart. But yeah, don't believe anything. We are coming. Well, this is what I heard. Yeah, but that was probably the team that wants to draft him. So it's Lion season right now. Smash that like button, Anthony. You are the man. You make lots of good points. You too, Mike. Go Lions. Appreciate you. Yeah, he does, man. The Ant-Man knows exactly what he's talking about. Will teams be less willing to trade with the Lions because of their recent success? No, that's not going to be.
no. Just to quickly answer that, I would quickly say on the flip side, I think they'd be more open to trading with the Lions because Brad Holmes does fair trades. He doesn't fleece teams. Like the trades are always beneficial for both teams. Some teams, they're just out and trying to screw you. Whereas with Brad, they always know they'll get a fair deal. So I think more teams will be open to trading with us, to be fair. As long as we don't tell them who we're going for, because then they'll be like, maybe we'll stick with them and get this guy. But I think it'll be fine.
Now that Sutton is gone, who is our number one cornerback? Cornerback one. Will Harris. He's going to be no.
Oh, God damn it, Mike. That was my answer. Stop stealing my thunder.
Oh, man.
Let's just say it's an open competition.
No, but yeah,
I don't think we have one.
Yeah, I don't think we have one either. Because there's all the new guys. So Amik will battle out with Davis, and they'll battle it out to see.
That's it. I can't actually think between them all. Like all our main guys now are new. We've not seen them play here, and all the others are depth guys who you're never going to call a cornerback one. So I think that's an impossible question to answer right now. It's very well a rookie potentially could be cornerback one come the start of the season.
Would you take Cooper DeJean at 29?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I would too.
Like,
and I don't think he's going to be there. I have him
his pro day.
Ahead.
His pro day numbers have just kind of made that an impossibility now because they were absolutely insanely good. Like that injury was the only thing potentially slipping him back down. Like I'd seen some really asinine takes about him falling out the field. He's like, no. And especially as I say, with these new return rules, because he's the best returner in college football. Like he is going to offer immense upside to it. Sadly, I do see him ending up in the NFC North. He's going to be with the Cheeseheads in Green Bay because I think they're going to love him as well. But if he's there at 29, you run the ticket, really.
All we can hope is there's another Brian Branch slide. That's all we can hope there. But Cooper DeJean would be a great piece to the Lions for sure. But I think he's gone beforehand. I think seven picks ahead. That's where I got him at. You'd have to trade up and get him, and I don't think that's going to be the case. Well, I mean, they could trade up, but I don't know. It's so hard to tell with this team. I think they will trade. Maybe they're going to trade a couple times. Who knows? Come on, we fleeced the Vikings. That's true. We did fleece the Vikings and the Green Bay Packers with Brian Branch.
But you sort of like the Hawk trade everyone felt wasn't very beneficial back to us, though some might say for what we got. So again, I think the Vikings got what they wanted out of it. I wouldn't call it a fleece per se. I think it was us combining to screw the Packers. I did like that. That was NFC North unity against the Packers. Long may that continue.
Do you think it's possible for Wiggins to drop to 29, or are you taking Kool-Aid? Wiggins would be nice. He's big. I like that size. 6'2".
I would take Kool-Aid simply because I'm sick and tired of seeing Lions corners get, I don't want to say that word because I can't on here, get dominated on the line of scrimmage. No, I was going to say something a lot more serious, but I'm fed up of seeing us get beaten on the line of scrimmage. I want wide receivers to hate playing against our secondary because when they're up in press and getting their ass kicked, like I want them to feel miserable because wide receivers have too easy a time against us. Like Kool-Aid's probably one of the really the better guys when it comes to press and being able to hit a guy and make him uncomfortable, disrupt him. It's what we need more than anything. I'm sick of seeing our corners get owned.